What's going on YouTube? This is Max coming back at you once again with another video. This time I'm doing a video comparison of 1080p versus 1440p on the Samsung Odyssey G7. If you're new to this channel, if you guys can do me a favor by hitting that subscribe button and clicking that like button, I greatly appreciate that. So without further ado, I'm about to go ahead and do a deep dive into a comparison video between both 1080p and 1440p. I've been hearing a lot of comments that people want to see some videos just showing the differences between 1080p and 1440p on the Samsung Odyssey G7 specifically. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is show you videos from Halo Master Chief Collection, a little bit of Destiny, and a little bit of Halo 5. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at it. So the first game I'm going to go ahead and do a comparison on is Destiny 2 on the Xbox Series X, just to give you guys a glimpse of the comparison between 1080p and 1440p. So what I went ahead and did is switched it up to 1080p at 120 hertz, and I went ahead and disabled the allow 4K, and I disabled the actual FreeSync on here just because I just wanted to just play with the settings on here. So I just want to give you a little bit of an idea of what it looks like playing Destiny on here. So you'll see you'll see at 1080p, and then you'll see 1440p. But right here I'm just showing you my settings of what I did for Destiny 2. So when I went ahead and started playing Destiny, looking at 1080p, just the guys a heads up too that my Samsung Odyssey G7 is a 27-inch, so that does play a factor. But watching this and playing this at 1080p, in my opinion, I have noticed some differences between playing at 1080p versus 1440p. At 1080p, it looks great by all means, but I did notice that the game was a little bit softer when it comes to the actual picture quality itself. It wasn't bad by any means, but I have noticed by looking at the lines itself and looking at the edges on the game that I just could tell some differences on here. So when I switched it up to 1440p, I noticed that the gameplay was a lot more crisper. I noticed that just walking around and doing some examples of the snow, that I just can tell immediately how sharp it is, if that makes any sense to anyone who's watching this video. So that's why I noticed right off the bat. But if you put a comparison between both of them, you really have to take a look at it and look at the detail between the two. So what I went ahead and did is at the top one you'll see 1440p, and at the bottom you see 1080p. I try to do the best I can to try to align the video as best I can, but it's kind of hard to do. Gameplay just know exactly where I'm at, but I noticed on the top 1440p it was sharper and crisper than the 1080p, and but I have noticed on the 1080p that I don't know, I'm gonna have to play with the monitor a little bit more, but I know that the colors are a little bit different. It's darker on playing 1080p compared to 1440p. You can see this on the Halo 5 Guardians. For some reason, I don't know why the 1440p show a lot brighter, but I mean, it is crisper, and the 1080p is a little bit soft, but I just know that the colors are a tad bit different between each other. And you can see from the comparison, if you look on the left is a 1080p, on the right you'll see it's 1440p. You see the 1440p is definitely a lot brighter, but you do see a lot of detail in there compared to the 1080p side. But you can see on the 1080p side, you can see it's a lot blacker. which is, well, blacker as in like better blacks, which is very interesting. Like I said, I haven't touched any of the settings on the G7 monitor, and I haven't touched any settings on my camera. I'm using a Sony ZV-1, so it's kind of strange. I was playing with trying to see what was going on. I wondered if it was just the Xbox or if it was just the actual monitor. So I was just going back and forth, and that was one of the things that I first noticed when I was going against both when I was switching between 1080p and 1440p is that yeah, while 1080p it shows a lot better blacks for whatever reason. The 1440p shows okay blacks, but it's definitely not pronounced like the 1080p side. But on the 1440p is a lot more crisp and a lot more sharp, and it does have a little bit more highlights when it comes to that side. So it is pros and cons. For me specifically, I like the more crisper picture, the more sharpness. That's just my opinion. When I just know when I'm doing the gameplay, and so I know people are different when it comes to this, but my opinion, 1440p, all hands down when it comes to this. So looking at Halo 5, just like how I did for the Halo Master Chief Collection, I tried to do a good side-by-side comparison between each other, and I did a little bit of gameplay just to give you guys just an idea of what it looks like and how it looks. So I'm just gonna wait a minute. When the gameplay starts, I can give you a little bit more detail of my experience. So right here is just starting off the gameplay on the Halo 5. Just like I mentioned before, on the left side you see 1080p, on the right you see 1440p. And one thing I have noticed by playing both games is, just like I said before, the blacks on the 1080p definitely looks better. I'm probably gonna have to play some adjustments when it comes to the settings, but on the 1440p it is definitely sharper. What I went ahead and did is switch to Assassin's Creed Valhalla, playing at 1080p gameplay. Just give you a glimpse of what it's like to play Assassin's Creed at 1080p, but you're going to see me switching back and forth between 1080p and 1440p, but I could just go ahead and give you guys the heads up. My opinion, I think the 1440p looks better. So, all right. So what do you guys think of the comparison video between 1080p and 1440p on the Odyssey G7? Leave a comment below if you have any questions, or just give me your thoughts of what you guys think about it. And before going ahead in this video, just want to let you know, once again, just want to say thank you guys for watching my video. I greatly appreciate it, especially for the people who's commenting, asking questions. I do the best I can to try to answer all the questions I can. And if you guys could do me a favor by go ahead and just subscribe to the channel, and see you on the next one. Take care.